With everything going on in the world right now, I think it's important that we answer this pertinent question. Is Popeye a simp? This victim of lymphedema in his forearms was created in 1929 and appeared in several comic strips on his journey to a cartoon debut in 1933. Olive Oyl was introduced in the same year of 1929 as Popeye's love interest, and 4 years later, around the time of the jump from comics to cartoons, came Bluto as Popeye's nemesis. I will not deep dive into the history of the property as usual, because there are channels that dedicate their content towards that, and also there is just so much Popeye that I wouldn't even know where to start, so I'll rather focus on the subject of this video. Does Popeye rank high on the simp scale or not? As a kid, I thought Popeye was just spinach propaganda bought and paid for by Big Vegetable or Big Farmer. And maybe I was right, cause using spinach as a safe, natural, instant steroid and some of these names like olive oil and her older brother castor oil? Come on. But in all fairness, and I digress, a lot of cartoons would not be what they were to us without the lack of subtlety and all the wacky names.
Gentlemen, your rings of destruction.
I'll eventually make a video on this, but remember Loot and Plunder?
The power of deforestation!
Hoggish Greedly, Verminous Scum, Dr. Blight,
The power of hate.
Sly Sludge, Duke Nukem, and not the video game? What are these names, honestly? Anyway, as I was saying, Popeye felt like fun vegetable industry propaganda that would eventually usher in veganism to control the world. I'm still joking, stop typing. But beyond that, I never thought too much about it. Watching as a grown-up though, like with Dennis the Menace, where I've mentioned before how I loved Dennis as a kid, but I grew up to identify more with Mr. Wilson, I started taking notice of other things in Popeye that weren't relevant when I was younger. Back then, Popeye would get in trouble, then snack on some spinach and overcome his problems, and little Mel would just cheer on in the living room like the little doof he was. But as a grown-up, with little Mel left far behind in the rearview mirror of my life, behind all the evil killer robots, I came to realize something I hadn't before. Olive loved messing with Popeye like a lot. And more than that even, he was actually in a physically and emotionally abusive relationship with a self-centered woman. And to take it a step further, she highlights all the problems with modern women and feminism.
This stupid this.
Hey, I'm joking. How many times do I have to say it? People are so sensitive. No, but seriously now, Olive is very rough to watch as an adult.
I propose the Women Wear the Pants in the Family Act. This program is quite ambitious. There'll be handsome secretaries for every lady's lap, while hubby stays home washing dishes.
So in most episodes of the older show, she was in a relationship with Popeye but was always open to exploring other big hairy options. Whenever Bluto or Brutus, depending on the era of when the character came into the picture.
I thinks it's silly, but if you wants me to fight for you, I'll put on one of them tin suits.
Olive was always open to exercising her options. Maybe because Popeye is not scruffy enough, or maybe because he's a short king, who knows. But in the story loop, she'll either get Popeye, her boyfriend, to compete with this new rando for her affection, or just ditch him entirely.
No, I'm not getting married, especially not to you. I'm going to look for somebody that's young and handsome.
Until things hit the fan, and then she either gets abused or assaulted and then will cry for Popeye to rescue her. And Popeye is always right there, waiting, chasing, trying to prove himself to her. Then he eventually rescues her and reaps his simpy rewards. But let's flip the script to where Popeye gets attention from some other woman. Oh boy, Olive does not like that. She will put hands on that female and let her know whose man's Popeye is. It's just funny to see how different these things look when you're not a kid anymore. I'd be curious to see where Olive ranks in the eyes of modern Hollywood. Is she too traditional and outdated because she still waits for Popeye to rescue her? But is she modern and empowered at the same time because she exercises her dating options freely and isn't tied down to just one sailor? But then, is she a victim as well because of all the toxicity that gets thrown back at her when Bluto comes into the picture? And Bluto is so trash. He wasn't even charming or charismatic. I don't know. Olive is a unique character though. In the archetypes of fictional characters, I can't think of any other that I would compare her to. And I don't just mean her lollipop head and spaghetti arms. But I've been busy and this was just a little waste of time rambling on a dead-end topic. Let me know how you feel about Olive Oyl as a character, and would you take relationship advice from Popeye? We only ask the serious questions over here. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Hey,